Okay, let's start annotating. What I suggest that you have is two different coloured highlighters, one for the text, highlighting sort of keywords in the text and quotes and stuff like that, and another one for highlighting the technique, so you write down the techniques next to it. It just makes it a little bit easier. If you have a book that already has someone else's writing in it, I strongly suggest that you have some post-it notes where you can add your own notes. Sometimes it's really hard to decipher someone else's annotations, and it means that you're going to understand and engage with it more, and sometimes I feel like you understand your own notes a little bit better and you kind of connect with it, and it'll make analysing it a lot easier. By all means, if the person whose book you have has written in things that I haven't spoken about and you think that are really valuable, please share them with others and with me as well. That'd be great. Okay, we're going to make a start. Can you please turn back to the front of the book where it has these two quotes called epigraphs. They are both from Shakespeare plays. One's from the Twelfth Night, one's from the Tempest. Okay, the first one looks like this. What country, friends, is this? And the one from the Tempest, I've done nothing but in care of thee, my dear one. There are two epigraphs, quotations at the beginning, both from Shakespeare. Their plays tell of losing what's precious and having it restored. In Twelfth Night, twins, a brother and a sister, are shipwrecked and lose contact. They think one another dead, which is each alone is alone in a foreign country. But disguises and mistakings cease, each finds love, and the play ends in unexpected reunion. Some think the year when the play was written supports this idea, that Shakespeare put into this play his feelings after the death of his 11-year-old son Hamnet, twin to Judith. In The Tempest, Prospero, banished with his infant daughter from his dukedom to a barren island, has raised her to adulthood and uses magic powers to effect a reconciliation with those who betrayed him and to secure Miranda's happiness in love. The ideas suggested by these quotations are at work in Gow's play about ordinary modern people. So think about the process of discovery and the consequences of discovery, which is a part of the rubric, and how it is important going through that process to get to the consequence of reconciliation. The quote from The Tempest, I think, is important here. I've done nothing but in care of thee, my dear one, meaning that the characters are doing these actions, going through these actions, and going on this process of discovery because they care about each other, essentially. Now, if we talk about characters, so flip to the start of the play, we need to talk about characters. So, the first character, Tom, he kind of is the centre of the play, and his parents are Vic and Harry. So Vic, Harry and Tom are together. Vic and Harry are the mum and dad, Tom is the son. Coral and Roy are husband and wife. Roy is the principal of the school. We'll get to him very soon. Gwen and Jim are married and have a daughter, Meg. And I think that's it. That's all that you really know. So, just to recap, Vic and Harry and Tom, Roy and Coral, Meg, Gwen and Jim. Okay? So, there's 3 different families there, and they all go on different discoveries. Okay, let's make a start. Now, like I said, have different coloured highlighters as we go along. Focus particularly on the techniques, because they're going to be really, really important when you come to writing your essays. So your annotations should look something like mine. Obviously, if you've got more to add, please do. Okay, let's make a start. This is Act 1, Scene 1. What I suggest that you do is you pause the video now and read through Act 1, Scene 1 before I start annotating it. So do that now. Alrighty, we start with some stage directions as with any good play. We have a school performance of Midsummer Night's Dream is coming to a close. Coming to a close. Why would he start the play with another play ending? Let's think about it. What does it suggest about discovery? I think that it suggests that you can't progress into discovery without acknowledging the past. So something is coming to an end and a new discovery is happening. Perhaps it suggests that discoveries can only happen as a result of past discoveries. It also suggests what we were talking about before in terms of the plot organisation in those worksheets of this circular plot. It starts at the end of Midsummer Night's Dream and ends with the start of King Lear. So at the end of this play, we will see another extract from the start of King Lear. It links to this idea of life and death, so that cycle, and the search for answers to existential questions. Now, Tom becomes connected with this idea of life and death, and it foreshadows his death, the fact that it's ending with Midsummer Night's Dream. It's starting with the end of Midsummer Night's Dream. And I also think that it's a little ironic in that it actually is starting with the end. The Mendelssohn soundtrack blares from a tinny loudspeaker. Kids dressed as fairies scurry about in garish light. The music ends and the fairies strike a tableau. One of them, Tom, steps forward and addresses the audience. Now, we have a monologue here, okay? So that is the technique. And those of you who are doing drama, and I think there are a few of you in the class, you'll be at an advantage. Could you please share your considerable knowledge with the rest of the class? So we have a monologue here, and we also have parallel characterization. Now, if you remember back to the video on Midsummer Night's Dream, there was this naughty little fairy called Robin Goodfellow, who is a type of fairy called a puck. Now that puck is the catalyst for events happening in a play. Likewise, this parallel characterization between Tom and Puck is exactly the same. Tom catalyzes different characters' discoveries. So let's have a read. If we shadows have offended, think but this and all is mended. That you have but slumbered here, while these visions did appear. And this weak and idle theme, no more yielding but a dream. Gentles, do not reprehend. If you pardon, we will mend. And as I am an honest puck, if we have unearned luck, now to scrape the serpent's tongue, we will make amends ere long. Else the puck a liar call, so good night unto you all. Give me your hands if we be friends, and Robin shall restore amends. We have repetition here of mended, mend, amends, amends. This characterizes Tom and Puck as the healer who will restore or establish a new, better order. This foreshadows the self-discoveries that all of the characters go on. Now, this dialogue also sets Tom up to be the catalyst that enables various characters to heal as a consequence of their discovery. Now remember, they are going away to be able to come home. Now on this note, why? Why did Gow include A Midsummer Night's Dream, especially the fairies and Puck, and this parallel characterization between Tom and Puck? Why did he choose A Midsummer Night's Dream? Now the inclusion of Midsummer Night's Dream as a technique is called illusion and or intertextuality. You can use both of them. But I think the reason why he uses Midsummer Night's Dream and how it links to discovery is that we can look at the structure of Midsummer Night's Dream from moving from order to chaos and back to order. If you remember the plot, organisation and structure worksheets that you just looked at, this play is written in 5 different stages, okay? And in those 5 different stages, it moves from order at the start, then they go to complete chaos in the middle and back to order. Okay, it is a reflection of the structure of Midsummer Night's Dream as well. In a way, each family and each character is fractured for their own individual reasons and in desperate need of discovering a new, better order to facilitate reconciliations, rejuvenation, healing, acceptance, and unity. They can only achieve reconciliation, rejuvenation, healing, acceptance, and unity by first experiencing chaos. They cannot move forward and discover themselves unless they experience chaos first. Do you think that's true of all discoveries? Now, if you think about maybe having a supplementary text in mind, do characters have to experience chaos first to be able to truly experience the effects of discovery? Just something to have in mind. Now, let's have a look at Roy, this character Roy. He's the husband of Coral and the principal of the school that this little play is happening at. He says, "Well, I'm sure you all enjoyed the little show tonight." What a patronizing douchebag. He's okay, Like if you've read the play and you've gotten to the end, Coral and Roy are okay, but Roy, in his patronizing tone, is a real hint at the context of the time. It suggests the contemporary power relationships between males and females, obviously. It sets Roy up to be a barrier to Coral's discovery. So if you link that to context and gender roles in 1968, he is the typical controlling man. We'll get to him and Coral a little bit more a little bit later on. I think I might stop the video now and start a new one.